Hey, welcome back to Movie Quips Double Take. Thanks for tuning in. So the trailer just came out for Sandra Bullock's new political comedy entitled Our Brand is Crisis. Let's check it out. So Our Brand is Crisis is a political satire from Warner Brothers. Its release date is around the end of October this year. It's directed by David Gordon Green, who previously directed the comedy Pineapple Express that came out in 2009. More recently, he directed Manglehorn, which starred Al Pacino, and that film was nominated for a Golden Lion, which is essentially the same as Best Picture of the Year at the Venice Film Festival. Sandra Bullock stars in this film, and we've watched Sandra Bullock on the big screen since the 80s. Some of her notable roles were in Speed that came out in 1994, as well as her Oscar-winning role in The Blind Side that came out in 2009. She's played a wide gamut of characters in a whole swath of different types of films, from all-out comedy right through to serious dramatic roles. More recently, she starred in The Heat opposite Melissa McCarthy in 2013, and she also starred in Gravity that came out the same year. So a very versatile actor, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she does with this role. So let's check out the trailer. Do 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 do.
She is the brightest and most innovative.
The best campaign strategist in the game.
Responsible for the greatest political upset in history.
You're a fighter, Jane. I'm giving you another shot at the title.
It's a presidential campaign in South America. Fragile democracy, economy in real trouble. Our candidate is considered arrogant and out of touch with people's lives.
How far are you behind?
28 points.
The opposition has hired their own American, Pat Candy.
Jane Bodine.
Pat?
So what are you doing here? I thought you retired or gave up or something.
What happened to your hair?
So you still got a great sense of humor.
How many times have you gone against Candy?
3 or 4 times.
How many times has he beat you?
3 or 4 times.
If you want to win, we're going to have to take risks. You're my tracker. Every event that Rivera attends, every speech, you tape it. If security beats you up, you are doing your job right. Get that beating on tape. Wake up. This is war. There's only one wrong in this. Only one, and that is losing.
Maybe check and see if not anyone understood that.
Levanten la mano si hablan inglés.
Gracias. You should feel something during the interview, like you have some tears. Could you just turn towards the camera?
Whoa, whoa, look at him.
This is it.
Yes.
Tax the rich, feed the poor.
Not lose to Candy now, I swear to God.
This actually kind of matters, Jane. This country could go under. We're talking about people's lives.
You like to pretend you're not one of us. If you fight with monsters for too long, you become a monster.
Eddie, is this your neighborhood? Where you live?
People will get hurt. What are you gonna do?
We are trying to save people's lives. These are the stakes. And I'm not going to stand by and watch as this nation falls apart. This is no longer an election. This is a crisis.
We're going to shoot the commercial, por favor.
Lamas. This animal would lead us to prosperity.
Oh.
No, Marco!
It's like he killed himself rather than be in one of our commercials.
Very wry. Very wry. It's kind of the humor that I'm expecting from this film all the way through, where it touches on the serious issues of how politicians affect the common people, as well as takes a satirical look at how some of them get elected. This film is actually based on a 2005 documentary of the same name that was written and directed by Rachel Boynton, and that film spotlit the 2002 Bolivian presidential elections, and it looks as though they've pulled different aspects of this, where they've got a South American incumbent president who's not very popular, and so Sandra Bullock's character has been brought in to basically try and sell this guy to the people during his election campaign. He's losing badly. And then she's got to go up against Billy Bob Thornton, who has been hired by the opposition to beat out this guy. I also like that this film has kind of a fish out of water feel to it as well, where Sandra Bullock is, you see in that one clip where she's trying to rally the troops with a big speech, a big pep talk, and nobody in the room actually understands a word that she's saying, and she just kind of thank you and walks away. It's cool to see Joaquin de Almeida there. He's the fellow who's playing the character of the incumbent president. It's like, hey, I recognize this guy. Well, yeah, he usually plays bad guys in films and has been doing it for quite a while now. He was in Fast 5 that came out a few years ago from the Fast and Furious franchise, but he was also the bad guy in Clear and Present Danger, and I think he was also in Desperado as a bad guy. So he brings that cachet of being kind of on the dark side of things, and she has to sell this guy basically like toothpaste or a brand new car to an electorate that really isn't buying anything until she brings in some of the Hollywood glitz of American campaigning. I'm probably going to say this for every film that comes down the pike that's attached to political campaigning, but there are shades of this that do remind me of Wag the Dog, which was a 90s film. In this one, there are other clips further on in the trailer where it looks like there's a massive protest going on. I don't know how they've put the trailer together, if those clips are earlier on or later, but in the actual 2002 Bolivian campaign that this film is based on the documentary about, there was a fairly deadly protest that happened shortly after the actual incumbent president won, and from what I understand, he's still evading extradition from the U.S. Back to Bolivia. So that's a strange thing to see here, where it almost looks as though there's more to the story that happens after the campaign, but I'm only speculating. Don't take my word on it. It looks as though it has some wry humor in it. It looks as though it has some just goofy stuff going on, but it also looks like it's a solid story. Peter Strahan wrote the screenplay for this, and if you don't recognize the name, he won a couple of BAFTA awards for his screenplay for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy that came out a few years ago. But he's a versatile screenwriter. A film came out last year from Ireland called Frank, starring Michael Fassbender. He wrote the screenplay for that as well. So it looks as though it's a solid cast. Billy Bob Thornton's there as the antagonist, which he plays perfectly in everything that I've seen him in, all the way back to his Oscar-winning role in Sling Blade in the mid-90s. So and there's also a solid crew behind the camera who have put this film together. So I'm really excited to see what happens with this film. But what do you think? Are you interested in seeing this film? Did you enjoy the trailer? Is there anything else that you picked up on that I may have missed in watching this with you? Also, I want to thank Surreal469 for his amazing video shout-out to my videos. You can check him out. Check out his YouTube channel at Surreal469. It's a great thing to see some positive feedback from a fellow video maker, and especially somebody who enjoys movies. Plus, I look so slim and trim. Feedback is so rare in what you're doing, especially when you're starting out. I've only been doing this for about a year as I'm learning more and more about it. So it's awesome to get that kind of positive feedback. But yeah, getting back to the trailer, what did you think about that? Do you have a comment about that? Leave it in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel as well, and like this video. And thank you very much. Cheers.